00.
Good morning, Vanguards, and welcome to today's Vitreus AMA. My name is Jaren Holmes, and I'm the Director of Public Relations for Vitreus. I'm joined by our entire core team, and we are excited to share our vision for Vitreus, as well as answer any questions that the community may have. Let me introduce our team. We have our founder and CEO, Chad Justice. We have our co-founder and COO, Brenton Ty. We have our Chief Technology Officer, Tim Benedict. Our Director of Marketing, Baron Karolkowski. Sorry, Baron. We have our Director of Product Design, Taylor Cox. And not pictured today, but part of our team is our Director of Development, Gabe Willen. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to give a little introduction into our company, Vitreus. Vitreus is a permissioned financial services distributed ledger integrated with artificial intelligence to help traditional finance companies reduce the burden of compliance workloads and expenditures. Our mission is to bring secure, scalable digital infrastructure solutions to the financial services sector. Now I'm going to turn it over to our CEO, Chad Justice. Chad, take it away.
Thank you, Jaren. Vanguards, welcome to another AMA with the Vitreus team. As CEO and founder of Vitreus, it's important to me to maintain communication with our growing community as we get this train moving. The core team and myself are working nonstop as we move towards our seed round on the 21st. Today, I'm hoping to cover several key points that I'm sure you're all eager for updates on, such as what the staking reward pool looks like, what our plans are for the funds that we raise, and of course, the seed round. Before I get to that, I would like to once again address the immense show of support from the community as we finalized our first acquisition, Reflex Finance. Over 88% of tokens converted into Vitreus, joining us on this journey. I want to personally welcome you to Vitreus and thank you all for your ongoing support. Let's talk about the seed round first. During our team meeting this week, Core held a lengthy discussion surrounding the seed round minimum and maximum values. We came to the conclusion that based on the feedback from our advisors and community alike, that $500 USD will be the minimum buy-in and 50,000 USD will be the maximum buy-in. But only for the first 2 days, the seed round is open. On the third day, the max buy limit will be removed for the remainder of the seed round. The idea behind this is to ensure there is room for the smaller investors within the first 2 days, in the hopes that all of our community members will be able to participate. These changes will also carry over to Presale 1, 500 USD minimum and 50,000 USD maximum for the first 2 days, with the buy limit then being removed on day 3. Vanguards, you spoke and we listened. We remain committed to hearing the voices of all of our loyal community, and we want to thank you for bringing that constructive feedback forward for the business benefit. Our Presale 2 was also discussed, and we'll continue to be talking that point for the weeks to come, but the market maker method, like any style, comes with pros and cons. We're not entirely convinced that this method is the best way to protect our investors or business, and we'll continue to explore some other options around Presale 2. But rest assured that we're going to communicate and collect feedback from you throughout our social channels and move forward with the community. Let's talk about use of funds. A key point for investors should always be related to the use of the money that's given to the business. We've seen many coin or token pre-sales through this cryptocurrency Wild West seek millions of dollars for strange or curious reasons, some without any sensible plan for using any of the money. I want to take a moment to give everyone a high-level outline. As you may know, Brenton and I have come out of pocket to not only fund our first acquisition, but also to get the ball rolling when it comes to personnel payments, marketing, branding, building, etc. It takes money to build a business, and this is exactly what we're raising money for. Our marketing budget is hefty. We've already allocated over 100,000 USD before the seed round, and will continue to heavily promote Vitreus through all of the various channels. Recovering and bolstering these marketing funds will be part of the raised funds. Ensuring there's a large pool of marketing money available for a continuous rollout of multi-channel marketing campaigns is absolutely critical as we edge closer to Q4 launch. As I've mentioned before, I'm often invited to speak at conventions, but the reach of that medium is only so far. Being able to speak in front of tech and finance and Web3 audiences will be part of the marketing plan also, along with a more traditional route. For example, the RAA community reads a lot of magazines. Making the use of advertising in magazines is a key part of our overall end user strategy. Financial, advisory, and business magazines will become our primary targets for ensuring the perpetual momentum gains as we move through this build throughout this year. With more interest comes more potential customers eager to get their hands on our next generation of products. Along with marketing comes the delivery of a tangible and sellable product. With Vitreus, we aren't planning to go live with just a minor feature, claiming it to be some massive revenue generating machine. Bringing to market an AI-powered compliance officer that's paired with leading edge technology across the board costs a lot of money and demands an abundance of resources. We're not going to shy away from wisely spending money to ensure the delivery of our vision. This build doesn't go to a blind market like most products, as Vitreus is being directly built for Collaborative Wealth, my RAA firm, and then others like it. This is an investment into the business's future, and one that I'm not venturing into lightly. I'm all in on this. I'm all in on this, everyone. Vitreus, the CTO, Tim, has been interviewing high-powered development firms in an effort to ensure that we can deliver an exceptional product on time and within budget. Our focus on delivering a cutting-edge product to market will come at a very high cost. We're all aware of this. We're aware that we'll need to set aside most of our seed and our pre-sale rounds to ensure the sustainable development of not just the ledger and AI compliance engine, but also the development of our other products and services that will operate on the blockchain. Our ambitions are far from small, and neither is our budget for ensuring the proper talent is applied to build the platform. Our team includes highly experienced technical experts, Tim and Gabe, who will be able to directly communicate and collaborate with our chosen development firm to ensure that development sprints, budgets, and overall milestones are on track and maintainable. First to market is incredibly powerful, and doing so with a foot in the door on multiple fronts for an industry that's in demand is even more powerful. Delivering on our B2B ledger, as well as our coin holder application, will generate an unprecedented amount of immediate market value for the initial life stages of Vitreus. This isn't me trying to hype anything up, but simply just being honest. There's nothing like Vitreus, and it's going to take the financial services sector by storm. We believe that. AI and Web3 technology, our leverage technologies, are budding in the market right now, and will be the front runner for the digital transformation of the financial services industry come 2024. Let's talk about income statements, because it's very important as it applies to our staking pool. Operating like a true fiduciary business, we'll be providing and ensuring that our income statements the financial recap documents that the SEC requires compliant businesses to maintain, will be made available to the community. Income statements focus on 4 key important items: revenue, expenses, gains, and losses. That's what the income statement shows us. In particular, we believe that with the method behind supporting our staking rewards, or the royalties pool, will create a sense of curiosity for all of our community members. So we want to be transparent and we want to share among community. Unlike a balance sheet, the income statement provides a clear picture into the company's financial health, something that will be of great value to all investors down the road. And let's talk about return on our investment. As I've mentioned before during other AMA sessions and many times throughout the social channels, our royalties paid to users with staked coins will be fueled by the business revenue, specifically 3% of the gross revenue to start. Gross revenue is the absolute top line of inflows for the business. The term sometimes gets confused with profits. They're not the same, which is a bottom line term after expenses. So gross revenue can be more simply defined as revenue brought into the business. That's the gross revenue. Therefore, when we say 3% of gross revenue, we mean 3% of every dollar that we, Vitreus, Collaborative Digital, brings in. And that'll be applied to the staking pool for the royalty payments. Now, what exactly does that look like? We had a community member ambitiously work on a spreadsheet that outlined a hypothetical royalty that a single Vitreus coin would be able to generate given a particular sales scenario. In this example, it was estimated that if we assume that 50% of the 555 million Vitreus coins were in the staking pool, that may yield a 0.0036 cents per coin. This is based on a 6-month calculation, meaning that it would take 5.55 cycles or 2 years and approximately 9 months to recover your original investment through the royalties given these parameters. While this is a hypothetical scenario and based on sales numbers being around 30 million, it's a friendly approximation on how to view the royalties in the future of Vitreus staking. In an effort to simplify, in the scenario that I just mentioned, there's a $1 royalty earned on 244.5 Vitreus coins. Unlike other cryptocurrency return promises or hype, which isn't the idea here, Vitreus hopes to provide a sustainable and safe environment for coin holders to generate royalties on their prolonged support for the business. So that's what I've got. Jaron, if you're ready, I want to go ahead and start fielding questions directly from the community to begin that part of the AMA.
Okay. If you guys have questions, be sure to drop them in chat. I'm also monitoring Discord and Telegram, so if you drop them there, I'll see them as well. One question that we had in Discord was about launch day and how do we expect to protect the value at launch from whales dumping? Has any decision been made about the impact of those the seed and pre-sale rounds on launch day?
Great question. We opened this up to the community and actually received some really, really good feedback from all the community members, from putting restrictive covenants or lockup periods on advantage purchasers prior to launch, to maintaining incentive programs that would incentivize coin holders to continue to hold coins through the launch event. We got together as a core team and we evaluated every possible opportunity that we could think of and that the community brought to us in trying to determine the best course of action. What we don't want to do is put restrictive covenants on anybody buying and selling. But what we think we can do is we can stack the release of products to continue to maintain a carrot, if you will, or incentivize people to continue to hold so that we have a steady incline of value on the coin, and that should eliminate some of the feeling or pressure to have to sell to recognize a gain. Second of all, we're looking at staking. And I'm not sure if many of you are aware that NFTs can be staked in wallet, but they can. And we're evaluating on how we want to maintain a staking incentive feature for NFTs while they're held prior to launch. And if we can continue to have multiple events of capital raise that have laddered maturities on staking terms, we should be able to spread out a lot of the potential selling pressure out beyond the initial launch event by itself. So we're going to lean pretty heavily on incentives, and we're going to look at probably a little bit more of an advanced mechanism around the incentives to spread that maturity effect out, so that not everything is maturing all at once, or we still have that cliff sell potential, just as we would with the launch of it. Second of all, we are looking at maintaining lower liquidity pool levels that would create some stronger impact on sellers if they chose to sell on launch. And then we would approach adding additional liquidity to the liquidity pool as we got a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks into the launch, and everybody has a better feel for what the public trading environment will look like at that point moving forward. So we're looking at a number of mechanisms, but putting restrictive covenants on coin holders being able to sell their coins is not a high priority at this point. Hopefully that helps.
Okay, the next question is, are we planning on approaching any venture capitalists?
Absolutely. We've got two companies here that we need to remember. We've got Collaborative Digital Innovations, which is a US Florida registered company. That's our software company. And then we've got Collaborative Digital Labs, which is a BVI registered company, and that is our blockchain coin company. And we've got a number of reasons why we separated those things out as two separate channels within the business. Coin holders benefit from both of those companies alike. They're all part of the same ecosystem. None of that affects the coin holder in any way. But venture capital is going to be a very important mechanism to raise funds in an equity manner that will fund the software side of the business. So as we do these coin capital raises, that funds the blockchain company. We still have the software company that's going to be building overlay softwares for the blockchain that needs funding as well. Venture capital is going to bring a number of benefits to the table for us through experience, access to personnel resources, a lot of different benefits from having multiple VCs on our team. But that'll happen over on the software side of the company, and implement a build out or assistance in our build out of all of the various software applications that I talked about last time in the last AMA. So yes, we will be approaching VC. Our target is $10 million, and we're looking for 3 to 5 venture capital partners to build a team with. So hopefully that helps.
Okay. The next question is from Crypto Control. Will there be anything exciting happening during the build period, or will it be mostly waiting?
That's a great question. NFTs serve a number of different possibility functions as they sit there in your wallet. Engaging holders during the build period is something that we're talking about pretty regularly. We've talked about games and ways to engage the NFTs. Personally, it's not something that would bring a lot of interest if I was a holder of an NFT, which I will be. So communication, I think, is just going to be important, and being able to maintain excitement with NFT holders through successful VC raises, through a successful Presale 1 raise, through a successful Presale 2 raise, continuous communications with NFT holders as we build. So as you can see, we're in the collaborative studio at the moment. We want to bring regular communications to you on a 2-week basis, giving you updates on where we're at. If we don't do that, then everything from an excitement standpoint kind of falls to the wayside. We want to stay out in front of you. We want to communicate what was done in the last week or two. So communication is going to be really important. You'll maintain excitement if you see that our progress is moving forward. And if we communicate, then you'll understand where we are at on a progress standpoint. So that's, unfortunately, it's going to be a waiting game for NFT holders, but we'll look for ways to engage NFT holders in the meantime.
Awesome. It doesn't look like we have any other questions at this time. I've put out a last call for questions. So if you have one, be sure to get it in the chat here in the next 10 seconds or so. I wanted to go around the horn and see if anybody from the team had anything that they wanted to throw out there that maybe wasn't covered during, the earlier discussion.
I think Chad did an amazing job describing kind of where we're at in our status. The market is absolutely begging for a regulated, compliant blockchain. If you do any amount of research and you see all of these public blockchains, you kind of notice a lot of them are very similar. And the only difference between them is like transaction speeds. Not much on the privacy stuff. And so, our analysis of the market has definitely dictated, this drive for us and building something that, that can be regulated, that we feel like, has massive potential. So I'm super excited for what we've already started, the development work that's already begun. And especially talking to these holders, even the old Reflex holders who've been holding since day one, and new investors who are excited about this, that even in this worse bear market, this crappy bear market, I'm feeling a sense of hype, excitement, which there's not many like this in this space. If you all remember, in 2021, there's thousands of projects that launched every day. Every weekend, it was like a new project, new business, and it was like, easy to kind of find, some good businesses to invest in. What I'm seeing now in the current markets is that there are very, very few in between, because people are more cautious with their investments. People are somewhat hurt by the crash that has happened. But what I do know about market cycles is that it typically does come back around. We're very optimistic about 2024 and 2025. We feel like we are perfectly timing this build out for this year. This is our build year, and we're spending the first quarter of our own funds, our own savings to help get this off the ground. And we're excited to see how the market reacts to this product and what we're building. February 21st will be the first test to this. So it's a very large cap seed raise of 3 million. This is not small money. 3 million is a lot of money, and that's why we have a 30-day raise on this. So I'm excited to kind of see where we end up landing. More excited about partnering with these VCs that we're beginning our discussions with, and where this takes us.
Awesome. Well, in the time that Brent was talking, we actually had about 5 questions come in. So I want to go ahead and get those taken care of, which is good because we love questions. Let's see. The first one is from Ken Finnett, and it says, was the holding duration discussed? What is the holding period basically for the NFTs that we're anticipating?
Yeah, so our NFT is going to stay in wallet forever. As long as you want to hold on to that NFT, you're going to be able to hold on to it. What it's serving between when you purchase your NFT and when you receive coins is a placeholder of value and a conversion of that value over to a number of eligible Vitreus coins that you'll be receiving. So once you have that NFT in your wallet and you're holding on to it, and as you can see the properties that show the value in USD and the equivalent Vitreus coins that you're eligible to receive. Every time that you make a deposit into that NFT, and think of the NFT kind of as a wallet almost, because we can make multiple deposits into that same NFT and break down those deposits separately as separate properties within that NFT. So very cool use of NFTs that, as far as I'm aware, have not been used in this manner before, but they'll be able to serve as a capture mechanism of dollars that you put towards this without having coins. When they're in your wallet, and we're thinking that you're going to hold that without coins until probably quarter 4 of this year. Then once we go live with our coin, we launch our coin straight to our own blockchain. We don't have to do a migration. We have our coin on our blockchain, and we can issue and airdrop those coins out to all of the NFTs. Very easy process. So you'll sit there with your NFT, you'll have a breakdown of what you put in and how many Vitreus coins you're going to get. And then when it comes time to launch, we'll go straight to our blockchain and airdrop all of those coins out to all of the NFT holders. We've already got about 840 NFTs from the Reflex acquisition. Hard to say how many NFTs we're going to issue in our seed round and in additional rounds beyond, but we're going to have thousands of NFTs. And we should be able to airdrop these coins in a very quick, easy manner, very inexpensive manner, and get those out to your wallet. You'll still have your NFT. But as far as Ken Finnett's question, I think prepare to be holding your NFT in wallet with no coins for the majority of this year, probably into quarter 4 of this year. That's what we're shooting for. As we get a build timeline refined, which we're working on with different milestones that we'll be able to communicate to the community. As we define that much better, we're going to communicate with you, which will lay out the expectations of how long you'll have that NFT much clearer. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome. And to follow up, he had a second question, which I'll go ahead and take care of. He was asking if there was a vesting schedule for the NFTs. No, we're not going to do a vesting schedule. We had talked about this earlier in the AMA, but we will be doing some incentives to encourage people to hold past launch day. So that's something to be excited for and to look forward to as well as we get closer to launch. Let's see. Where was the other one? Okay. This is from SHSU Justice, which represent SHSU. There is a poll done on lowering the minimum to 500 for the seating, and it got a majority of votes. Is that still a possibility? We discussed this earlier in the AMA. We will be lowering the minimum to 500. For the first 2 days, the minimum will be 500 and the max will be 50,000. On the third day, we will remove the max and then it can be, whatever you feel like throwing in. The minimum will still stay 500. And we are doing this in hopes that, the, little guy that some people were concerned about, they will have, a precedent to get in before maybe the bigger fish throw in. So we did make that decision to lower it. So that hopefully that helps.
We were aware already of some larger purchasers that we've communicated with. And so we want everybody to have the opportunity to own Vitreus at really good seed prices if they want it. And like I said earlier, we heard you. We're listening to you. We're doing these polls in our socials with a very specific intent. And that's to figure out how we need to position to allow for accommodation for our entire community. So we want to provide a 2-day early in advantage for smaller purchasers to get in $500, and then we'll allow the big fish in after that, so that they don't come in and take all of the allocation for the seed round. So yes, we heard you. We made that modification because of you, but now the minimum is 500 instead of 1,000.
Yes, and that it stays 500. I saw a comment from Gamers Basement. It stays, the minimum will stay 500 the whole entire time. It will not increase to 1,000. So 500 minimum the whole time. The first 2 days, the maximum is 50,000, and then the maximum disappears. There was a question from, where'd it go? Jim Adams, can you talk about the seed round buy-in procedure on the Vitreus website?
Yeah, great question. We've been working on building that D app for the past few weeks now. And it's going to be another simple process. You're going to go to our website, you're going to click on a link, you're going to go to a page that has the D app embedded there for you to make your transaction. And you'll have two options. You'll connect your wallet, and then you'll have two options to either purchase a new and mint a new NFT, or you'll have the option to make a deposit, a subsequent deposit into an existing NFT that you already have. So this will accommodate both new purchasers and additional depositors into existing NFTs that are already in your wallet. You're not going to have two NFTs. You're going to be able to add it into your current NFT if you already have one, but you're still going to be able to see it broken down on the properties. When you click on your NFT, you'll be able to see your conversion value. If you're from Reflex, you'll see your conversion value. And then also you'll see your seed deposit as well. And then that will translate over into Vitreus coins, just like you can see right now. So really easy process. Again, once you have that NFT in wallet, it's there, and then you'll be able to participate additionally down the road in more pre-sale rounds as well.
And to follow up on that, there was a question in Discord from Billy about, will there be instructions? Yes, we will post simple instructions to all socials just in case, like we've done in the past. For our acquisition. That way you can go there, you can refer. And if you have any questions, or you really just want someone to hold your hand, we will have our moderators and our admins in Discord available to assist you. All right. Next question is from Crypto Control again. Is there a chance the product can be finished and launched early?
I'll take this one, Jaron.
Go for it, Tim.
There's always a possibility, but remember, we are very focused on architecting these solutions that are mainly addressing the obstacles that we're facing today with these technologies. And this isn't just a singular approach of AI or Web3 or blockchain. These are full stack solutions that combine the appropriate technologies to achieve that. So most Web3 DeFi and distributed applications are hard to use. Companies that offer the on-ramps have to vastly improve their user experience. Many brands that are participating in Web3 applications by trading various types of NFTs, but are still unclear how they will profit. You've heard that from us today. And the applications are very much targets for hackers who want to exploit the smart contract logic. These are all aspects of the functional requirements that we will be putting into the architecture. So as Chad mentioned earlier, and Brenton mentioned, the minimal viable product that will be appearing at the end of this year is the beginning of our development cycle. But we're very aware of the obstacles and challenges that we will be solving. So if it does appear that we can get it done early, we'll certainly let you know. But we're also hyper focused on making sure that we finish it on time.
I'll also add a little bit on top of that. 1 second. There's other products that we could come out earlier that we are in conversations of providing for the end user, like yourselves. The ledger of what we're building, the blockchain technology, the AI, everything that Tim kind of described is the products and solutions for our B2B, for our industry, the financial services industry. But there's some cool things that we're building out a development team to bring to the table for you guys. So I'll let Chad describe and discuss that if he'd like to.
So, sorry, you broke up, Britton.
I was explaining to the world that there's kind of two functions or two development teams that we're kind of building. One is for the blockchain technology, the ledger, the B2B solutions for the financial services, but also the other side that we're in conversations about building for the end users, and some of the development conversations we had. So I was just telling them, I threw it at you if you wanted to share some of those those things that we're talking about doing, and I think that might bring some light to them.
Yeah, so we've talked a lot, especially over these past few AMAs, about working on building the B2B businesses. And with those being, like we talked last time, being our infrastructure value proposition, our Acquiesce and our Emporium products, our Advisor Retire, the products overlaid on top of the blockchain. That's what I refer to as the B2B value. We can't forget the value we have to bring to the person who's holding our coin, and making that as easy as possible. Because we have an independent blockchain environment, we have to be able to serve a lot of the functions that existing blockchains take care of for us right now. And we don't necessarily know that they're taking care of those things for us. So from trading the coin, to holding the coin in wallet, to having access to central exchanges, to on-ramp and off-ramp, there's a lot of different components that come into play for the coin holder experience to be as positive as we can make it. So when we talk about the coin holder experience app, that's a one all-inclusive app, single app that covers all of the important functions that someone holding our coin is going to have to be able to facilitate. So we're going to have a separate team focused on building, in conjunction with the blockchain, a separate team that's focused on building that coin holder experience app. We want to deliver that as our first product to you. And it's going to be that minimum viable product. And it may just be from a communication standpoint, where we have the ability to push important information out, and videos and updates and e-newsletters, and anything that we want to be able to communicate with our NFT holders. We're going to have a lot of them. We know we're not going to have everybody in Discord. We know we're not going to have emails for everybody, but an app can still maintain some important DeFi type non-doxing effect for someone who has an NFT to be able to tap into staying up to speed. So our V1 launch of the Coin Holder Experience app is likely just going to be an app with the ability to communicate. And then once it's launched and everybody has that downloaded on their devices and so on and so forth, we can begin to launch the important functional components that go into having a successful independent blockchain coin, like staking, like swap and trading, and So there's going to be a number of different things that we're going to want to build out on that app, but not necessarily in preparation to launch it to you first. So it's going to be really important, and goes back to why we're hiring high power development companies that with strong track records of products that are successful. That's what we want to be looking for. We're not building a piecemeal product here. We're building $1 billion product for a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And if we want high adoption, it has to be top shelf. We can't guess at this either. It has to be done perfectly, on time, within budget, right from the get-go. We have one shot at this. We have multiple rounds of capital raises. But once we're past that, we have what we have. We have to do it right. So that's our logic on taking the build to a high breadth, high power development company so that we can do this right. And we've been spending the last couple of weeks interviewing these development companies, and we feel pretty strongly about one of them. But as soon as we've made that decision on who we're going to go with, we're gonna make sure that we let the community know about it.
Yep.
So, Tim, anything to add?
No, I was just going to say, in addition to that, we're doing some very granular analysis on the tech stack. We want to stay along the bleeding edge lines to ensure that our offerings and the back end technologies can do what we need them to do at scale. So this will be eventually a global installation, and so those aspects are important as well. We're not just focusing on the States. There's a big focus in EMEA and the UK and other areas as well. So, I will in the future have my own topics, and I will want to share how we're progressing with the community and be open about that. Obviously, with the a little bit of limitation around intellectual property, but a lot of exciting things going on and exciting communications to be coming out in the next couple months.
Okay. The next question is, any near acquisitions on the radar?
Yeah, great question. I know y'all have become accustomed to people talking about things before they happen. That's not going to be us. Once it's a done deal, you're going to know about it. But until that happens, we're going to work behind the scenes until we're able to deliver a confident message to you that we can follow through on. So while we are having some conversations, we're not ready to divulge the details around who or what that is. But just know the acquisition approach is going to be fundamental to our scaling of our capabilities. And we're going to want to do that in a number of different ways or for different purposes. One being growing our community very quickly. Two will be bringing strong team members on that we can plug into our existing core functions and gain capacity and capability and disciplines that way. And then hopefully be able to take down some technologies that can serve as a hyper scaling effect on having code and technologies ready to go to plug into our technology infrastructure. So there's going to be a major focus on acquisitions. Reflex was successful, but we just do that the same way every single time now. And we can replicate that process. We have the technologies to mint and convert cross-chain if we need to. A lot of really good things that we've gotten on. I think Rim put it the best. We're laying a really strong track for this train to run pretty fast on. But yes, acquisitions are going to be a very integral part of our growth strategy. And yes, we are engaged with some conversations, but no, we're not ready to share that yet.
Okay, our next question actually does come from Rim in Discord, and it says, have you identified any competition in this market, and how are we dealing with that?
Yeah, we're always on the hunt for competition. There's one firm out of London called Quant, and they're serving the same market in somewhat of a same capacity to where they're creating a digital environment for investment firms and insurance carriers and broker dealers to be able to maintain operations on. we're going to differentiate ourselves in the way that we automate our client businesses, meaning we're bringing ComplyQ to the table here, which is our artificial intelligence machine that will serve as a machine-based compliance officer, if you will. So that in itself is a massive differentiator in the fact that it's embedded in our blockchain, so that when these companies come on and they use our digital environment, which we have competitors on, what we don't have competitors on is the functionality of that digital environment once they're there. So the AI capabilities that we're going to be building into this blockchain are our IP. That's our differentiator. And we're working on a patenting process currently to get at least patent pending status on these technologies. Once we get to that point, then we'll be able to share some additional detail around ComplyQ. But something that's what I'm most excited about. That's the difference maker right there.
Awesome. Okay, I think our last question is, what will your approach toward building capacities to deliver to clients after the CW install and building an order book?
Tim is going to be overseeing a lot of the product management components of post-product build. And I'm assuming that's what you mean. Once things are built, how do we continue to deliver to our existing clients?
Yeah, not only to like after CW, after we've done all the debugging and how it works realistically in the real world, how would we take that past CW?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So that's what we consider a future state design consideration, right? The product itself is, after it's developed, then you move into the next phase of integration, implementation, and how you would actually start integrating into a financial institution. So those are very, very much topics that we are putting into consideration now. And the reason why that's important is these products have to be able to do the migrations, the transformations, and they're going to be a little bit more elegant than a traditional migration of refactoring or replatforming traditional R's, right? We're looking at what they actually call in the market right now, blockchains, right? So they're blockchains as a service, but there's a lot more than that. So, when we are partnering with these firms and getting this product off the ground, we also have a strategy to partner with other folks that might want to resell this and have their own implementation standards, and then use a scale that way. And that's a very typical model that we've seen in information technology. What that looks like, will remain to be seen. Like I said, we're not ready to kind of divulge that right now, but we have absolutely put pen to paper on how we'll scale this out within communities.
Awesome. Well, there are no other questions, so we can go ahead and begin to wrap this up. Does anybody from the team have any final comments? Yes or no?
Jaron, yes, I'd like to alert the community. We're going to start a new contest today. Keep an eye out on our socials. We'll have great prizes again, large value NFTs, and it will be around creating content for us to share. We'll provide you with some visuals you can use. You'll have all the branding materials you need, and it'll run, I guess, until next week, Wednesday. So if you need something to do on the weekend, go ahead and produce some shareable content for us.
Awesome. That's really exciting. I know we have a couple of community members who are already making some pretty hilarious memes on Twitter. So I'll be excited to see what the community turns out. Anybody else?
I'll go last. Anybody want to go ahead of me?
Sharon, can you share the upcoming AMAs that we have going on here? I think Chad is jumping on another one tonight. There's so many AMAs coming up, and ramping up to February 21st. So if you missed half of this, you can just jump on another one. But we're always talking about new and exciting stuff. So
Yes, we do have one tonight, the Influencer's Choice AMA with CoinMerge. Chad was invited by Gandalf Crypto to speak on that AMA. That is at 6 p.m. Central Time. I'm not sure what the UTC is for that. And let me see. We have an AMA on the 14th at 11 a.m. Central Time with crypto miners. And we have one on the 15th at 12 p.m. Central Time with Caesar's calls. So I will go ahead and just make a rough list of that and get that posted on social so everybody can tune in if they would like. But just to let you guys know that we are going to spend the next couple days leading up into the seed round, really just trying to hit different audiences and try to get the word about Vitreus out there. So if you want, or we would love if you guys would share that out, invite your friends that are in crypto to listen, help us spread the word. That'd be great. Anybody else?
Let's
Good.
wrap it up.
All right,
I'll wrap it up real quick. I just appreciate the acceptance of new leadership coming into the business, bringing a brand new product and a brand new vision and innovation to the crypto space, and everybody being so open and accepting of that idea and this new leadership. I know the past has presented some challenges, and it's really caused you to take a step back and analyze what the situation presented before you right now looks like in a little bit more detail. And we're excited to bring a new level of fiduciary and transparency and duty to you as a future coin holder of Vitreus. And we will always be continuously innovating and coming up with new ideas to build this digital empire for the benefit of our end user that ultimately translates into benefit to the coin holder. So your trust is paramount. If you ever have any questions or need some additional transparency, or even need to provide some feedback on how we can be better in those areas, feel free to let us know. We're always listening to you. That's something that we're never going to give up. We're always going to be a community first company, and we're looking forward to continuing to interact with the community moving forward. So thank you for your time today, and feel free to share this out and get this word out to as many people as possible.
All right. I want to thank each of you for coming today to this morning and tuning in to our AMA. We look forward to continually sharing regular updates and information with the community. We have shared this on our Facebook, on our Twitter. It is on our CDI YouTube. We are we were having some technical difficulties this morning, so we will get it loaded on to the Vitreus YouTube as well. But the point of that being, we invite you to share this AMA with your friends in this space to help us share the word about Vitreus. We are an open book, so please bring your questions, like Chad said, to our AMAs, and you can always ask them in our social channels if there's not a core team member around. Our mods and our admin staff is amazing. They, if they don't know the answer, they'll get it passed up to us, or grab a core team member to come in and answer. We hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye, guys. In that.